Midday edition of the Workforce on the Rhythm of the City, 94.3 WYBC. Hanging out with me, Wanda Coppage, your midday workforce. And you know, WYBC and Yale University, we have been saluting our small Black-owned businesses right here in New Haven. I've had the pleasure of speaking to a couple of them. And today I have another one. This is when we start to get the good food, y'all. I'm here with Dave Austin. He is the owner of Westville Seafood, 1514 Whalley Avenue in New Haven. That's the Amity section of Whalley Avenue. Good afternoon, Dave.
Good afternoon, Wanda.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So, I have to start with Westville Seafood. How long have you been in that location?
We've been at this location since 2008. It's been 12 years now.
12 years. Wow.
12 years.
What made you do a seafood spot?
Well, originally I was looking to just purchase the building. I wasn't going to open a seafood spot. And then as time went on, I started setting it up for someone else to rent it from me as a restaurant. I decided to open up as a seafood restaurant.
Did you go ahead and still do the commercial real estate as well, or you just went with Westville Seafood, that space?
Well, I went with that at the time. I'm sorry. I purchased the building at the time.
Okay.
And I just wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So,
okay.
Like I said, as time went on, I decided to open up as a restaurant.
I always say, because there are a lot of people that talk about starting their own business, but never get around to starting their own business. What was it for you that made you say, you know what, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be an owner of something. What was it that stood out for you to make you do that?
Well, I felt there was a need in this area for this type of restaurant. So I figured I could fill that need, by opening a seafood location at that particular, at this particular spot here.
Okay.
And that was pretty much my thinking at the time.
I have to say, I won't get too much up in my business, but for a particular family gathering that my family had, we had food from Westville Seafood. We had some good seasoned right, fried right fish.
Thank you.
Great. But other than the seafood, because obviously you sell fish, what other items do you have on your menu?
We also do ribs, barbecue ribs. We have burgers, foot-long hot dogs, salads. We have a wide array of different foods on our menu, other than seafood.
And with COVID-19 happening, was your business affected at all by COVID?
Not really. The first few weeks we were affected by it. It was kind of an adjustment, but we bounced back pretty quickly. And being that we were essential with the takeout, delivery picked up pretty fast. So we were able to maintain throughout.
Well, that's good. Good for you. This is Dave Austin, owner of Westville Seafood, 1514 Whalley Avenue in New Haven. You know how this goes. We're speaking right now with him on the air, but after we finish this interview, the video is going to be posted on our Facebook page, all the social media sites, so you can check it out if you miss anything. Dave, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about your background. You from New Haven?
Originally from New Haven. I went to high school in Branford, and then I've been a Hamden resident for most of my adult life.
Okay. Now, what was your first business if it wasn't Westville Seafood? Was Westville Seafood the first business you started?
No, the first business I started was in Hamden. I had a clothing store. Okay. Uptown Clothing a while ago. And then from there, just different businesses, restaurants, bars. I had a bar on Edward Street off of State Street, New Haven.
Okay.
I had that for a while. I had a jazz club downtown, Temple Street, New Haven.
So you just basically said, I'm just not going to clock in. I'm going to do my own thing.
Exactly. That was just, that's the path I took.
Did you have the entrepreneur spirit when you were like in high school? Were you always a hustler?
Pretty much always hustling.
Yeah.
In high school, I focused on different businesses. I was one of those kids that had a paper route, and, car washing business, all that kind of stuff. So I was destined to be an entrepreneur.
And the word uptown clothing, that sounds like that was in the middle of probably like the 90s hip hop era. Was it inspired?
Exactly. Exactly around 90, 95, 96.
What would you say to someone that wants to start any type of business, a restaurant, whatever it may be? What advice could you give to someone looking to be an entrepreneur?
Mostly, I just say focus on doing that. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that, try to talk you out of it or give you many reasons why you shouldn't do it.
Right.
I would just say just go for it. Get as much information as you can. Um, Try to put together a business plan and just, stick to it. Don't give up.
Yeah, because you've been doing Westville for 12 years, so obviously you did not give up.
Exactly. No, there was just not an option for me.
Would you be able to point out any, if all, challenges that someone may face stepping out on their own to do something like this?
Well, obviously, financial is always a big one. Um, you know, Getting loans, can be difficult.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, there's so many challenges that you can face just trying to open up. One, find a location and dealing with different, depending on what type of business you're trying to open. There's other permits and things that are involved. But like I said, just get as much information as you can on the business. Don't think you can just go out and open a business and that's it. And you think you're going to just start making money. There's a lot of steps prior to that, dealing with the city and with the health department and whatever, whoever else you would have to deal with to get your business open.
So be knowledgeable, know what you're getting into before you start.
Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, so be knowledgeable and know what you're getting into before you start.
Exactly. That's the key.
Okay.
I have a lot of friends that, just figure they have some money aside and, they just want to go open up this or that or a package store, or any type of business and not really knowing too much about the business.
Right.
Not doing as much research as I should have from the beginning. So that's best advice anyone that's in business now can give to someone else. Definitely do your research.
Thank you for that. You said you already told us just about everything you have on your menu. What are you doing right now? Are you doing dine-ins with the pandemic? Are you doing only takeout, carry out, and do you cater?
Well, we're not catering right now. Actually, so kind of busy right now. We were catering. Let me back up. We will cater some parties. It's not a thing. We usually do mostly catering here and on the premises, but
Okay.
our back dining room is closed.
Okay.
So we do mostly takeout, and I think we're going to continue with takeout throughout the winter.
Okay. And then your spot, even prior to COVID-19, you have the outdoor patio seating anyway. So during the summer months, it was easy to just keep it pushing because
Exactly.
people were outside anyway.
Right. And
Okay.
luckily, I built the overhang in the back of the restaurant for another deck, which is actually I built it for solar. We're adding solar, so we're going green here also
Okay.
in the next couple of weeks, actually.
Look at you
So
keep
we have 2 patios here now, which is nice.
That's what's up. I'm speaking to Dave Austin. He is the owner of Westville Seafood, 1514 Whalley Avenue, New Haven. The phone number there is 203-397-3474. Lastly, I started by asking you what made you open this particular type of restaurant because there's so many other restaurants. And as you travel through New Haven, especially now in recent times, you're seeing more and more Black-owned seafood spots opening up. So I would ask you, what makes your seafood spot stand out from amongst the rest? Why is yours the spot to go to?
Consistency, um, fresh food. We don't change our seasonings. We don't change the way we cook. We definitely change our fry oil, which another, I know a few owners of restaurants, and they've actually come to me for advice. Um, and some of them didn't know about changing your oil often, like a few times a day. Some people just don't know you do that. You cook at home, you might fry chicken, and you might use the oil again. But in a restaurant, you have to. Your food will not be consistent unless you're changing the oil. It'll get a little dark, dirty. Um, so, like, I was surprised to find out that so many restaurant owners did not know that.
Right. But that's just something that you learned from doing it for so long.
Exactly.
Okay, over time. And that's That's very big of you to be able to be the man to answer the questions. Like you're not trying to withhold information. You want to see it.
No,
See, so
definitely.
that's shout out to you for that.
Thank
Got to come to the OG to get the advice, Dave Austin.
you. Hey, I have no problem helping out anyone that's trying to start a business, you know.
That's beautiful, and that's why we're doing what we're doing to spotlight small Black owned businesses because we keep it moving over here in New Haven. We're the reason why we're thriving, and I'm sure, as I mentioned, what I like to do when I speak to the owners is find out what I can learn from you that's going to help someone else make that final, that give them that extra push just in case they've been tinkering with the idea, but just really not enough gusto to go forward. That's why I've asked all of my owners that question. So I thank you for your information, Dave.
Well, you're very welcome.
And you're on social media. You want to give everyone your social media handle?
Oh, we have Westville Seafood on Facebook. Um,
And what are your hours?
my hours are from 11 to 8 every day.
And
7
Dave
days.
already he mentioned the seasoning. I didn't know about changing the oil, but I already told you that the fish is seasoned just right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell you a quick story. My mother, after we had that family gathering, she kept asking me, where you get the fish from, Wanda? Where you get the fish from? So I told her, and she said, I need their number because her girlfriends were coming over that day.
Okay.
Still to this day on the refrigerator, it says Westville Seafood. And what I wrote
That's great.
that number.
I really appreciate that. So you want to thank you.
We appreciate your time so much today. Again, we're spotlighting these small Black owned businesses. This is the owner of Westville Seafood. His name is Dave Austin. You got to check him out. This is the Amity part of Whalley Avenue, 1514 Whalley Avenue. Give this brother a call and go get some good food. Dave, any last words before we head out?
No, stay positive. Like I said, and that's, you know, if you have it, if you have that feeling that, you know, you want to go out and start a business, or if you need some advice, you can call me. Gave you the number 203-397-3474.
I love it. That's what's up. Thank you, Dave.
Thank
Our
you.
Cottage, a midday edition of the Workforce, holding you down until 3 o'clock. Trust me, we have more great R&B on the way when I come back. Got to pay the bills, so make sure you keep it locked. And once again, if you missed any part of this interview, we're going to put it on our social media sites, all right? Keep it locked to the rhythm of the city, 94.3 WYBC.